So, congratulations on your new headphones.
Thanks, man. I really don't like this color, though. It's not my favorite color. I thought they'd be like silver, like more of a metallic, nicer silver, but they're gray. Like they just say gray.
Yeah, it's crazy, definitely.
But they're nice. So they the Sonys, they have better, like higher rated noise cancellation than the Bose do. But more importantly, they have support for the aptX HD codec and one other codec, which is way better than the regular Bluetooth codec. And that gives you like lower latency and higher audio quality, and more importantly, more consistent audio quality. So they sound a hell of a lot better. But the comfort and looks I really don't like. Like they fit kind of tight and they're heavy. So wearing them all day is a little bit much. I like the Bose better, but the quality is worth it.
Oh, it's interesting. Have you seen, by the way, a video from Linus when he tries $10,000 headphones?
No, I haven't. Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah.
No, I have to check it out.
$10,000 headphones, and I think there's another 30,000 of of devices coming with it to actually listen to them. So,
and they're not even noise canceling, are they? They're
just open headphones, just to have the complete immersion into the sound. So you probably have to listen it in soundproof room,
Right? Yeah.
So that's it. And in general, how are you feeling yourself?
Good.
Everything is fine?
Yeah. I think I had the Rona. I had all the symptoms and I was sick for about 3 weeks, but I didn't have a thermometer, so I couldn't take my temperature, but I don't think my fever was that bad. And I was a little short of breath, but like nothing too concerning. And here, like you can't get a test unless you have really high fever or really short of breath. So basically, you're ready to be admitted to the hospital before you can get a test. So, but if we get the antibody tests, hopefully, I'm hoping that I'll have antibodies, which would be great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. A little bit of allergy to the pollen, so. I all the time have a little bit of issues with my nose these days, but in general everything else is good.
What happened to your internet? You were on like cell for a week.
Yeah, like for 2 weeks I was completely offline. Like since 2 weeks ago on Monday, I switched to a new internet provider from my current one to get 1 gigabit connection. It was like planned a few months in advance, but when Corona started, they moved the day to connect me to their network. And at the same time, on the day when they actually installed the internet, the converter for the fiber signal, the previous provider turned off the fiber signal, and their internal system went down for customer support.
No.
So the guy who was installing all the devices in my storage box, he just wasn't able to enable anything remotely, and he wasn't able to check, like, is a problem on my end, or is a problem on the street, or is a problem at the side of the provider. So we didn't know why the connection didn't come through. So in the end, like it took them till like this morning, because we're recording right now. The guy came to the booth on the street, and he finally fixed the fiber signal. So now I have fiber at home. Yeah, just in time for today's recording. But it really handicapped a lot of my work. So I had to tell a lot of customers, sorry, like, I just can't do anything. Like, there's a lot of work that I was not expecting, that I need to have, full Docker hub copies on my local in order to start Docker containers. But I need to build fresh images all the time for some of the projects I'm working on right now.
Yeah, you might have good bandwidth, but the latency would just kill you.
Yeah, like the biggest problem, like I was taking this device, this very nice iPhone 6. Oh, sorry, it's not even 6, it's 5S. It's 5S. I was using it as a tethering device. And it was working pretty well. But the problem is somehow on Linux there is a really big throttling on tethering. So on Windows, like when I boot in Windows, it works fine, but I cannot work on Windows because I have all my development environment in Linux nowadays.
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare with 6 megabits maximum.
Oh yeah, you were tethered. You were USB tethered with it, right? You weren't like using its Wi-Fi access point.
Yeah, like it's kind of a weird thing. Somehow the Windows is having different packet lengths that work much more better with T-Mobile network. So Windows kind of emulates the mobile network packets when it sends them. And T-Mobile has this stupid thing when they tether, when they actually throttle specific packets with specific time to leave. So let's say if you have a very small time to leave, they probably will throttle those packets.
Wow.
And in the end, I even didn't get this 6 megabits consistently because sometimes the packets didn't return at all. Like there was a lot of moments like in the meantime, like I do Docker build and part of the build fails. So I have to restart it because some requests got timed out, and
frustrating.
It's just very frustrating itself. So I'm happy finally I have a good connection, and now I feel myself again at full capacity to work properly. So, but on the good side, last Easter weekend I got some time to prepare pulled pork.
Sounds good.
Myself, so I spent like 8 hours on barbecue and doing a lot of temperature reading, and now I really want to build a thermometer with Arduino that will measure temperature remotely, so I don't need to go to the barbecue all the time and check the meat temperature to see if it's fine or not.
That's a good way to stay at home, social distance, slow cook and barbecue.
Yeah.
You can think of worse ways.
Yeah, definitely. But in general, it was a very interesting experience, and now I have this small Arduino that I play around with.
Nice.
So, quite nice.
All right, well, should we do the intro?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Load in the Loop, sponsored by Blackfire.io. I'm Eric Hileman, CEO and co-founder of Mage Mojo Magento Hosting out of New York City. The purpose of this program is to take some of what we learned over the last 10 years of Magento-specific hosting and evaluate one of our customers' stores. We'll share with you what we find in hopes that it may improve your Magento skills and the performance of your Magento store. And along with me on this trip is my co-host, Ivan.
Hey, my name is Ivan. I'm one of Magento experts specializing in performance, one of original Magento 1 core developers. Under my belt, I have a lot of small and big projects ranging on the whole spectrum. And in general, today we're going to take a look at one of Mage Mojo customers. So Eric, tell us a little bit about the customer.
Rareseeds, going gangbusters. So they normally do really well. Yeah, this time of year, they're doing really well. Springtime, people want to plant. But I think they're one of the people who are booming in this current economy because with the grocery store shelves being low and people being worried about not getting groceries, there's a big push to grow your own food, especially when you're home and you have all this extra time. So it's springtime, so it's time to plant. So yeah, people want to grow their own food, support their own, support their own supply chain essentially, and to keep themselves busy and active. And it's a perfect time of the year to do that. They said they've been to other providers and they haven't, like no one's been able to hold this thing up, and we're holding it up on Stratus. It's out, I think 20 some pods. So it's ranging between 150 to 200 CPU cores.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's really doing well. So we made a dev copy to test on because we didn't want to do that, not with 20 some pods out.
Okay, great. So let's start to do profiling. I just did a quick test to see if it's running and properly set up. So far, what's interesting about it, like when I load the page, all those products pop up. Do you know if it's PWA or just regular Magento?
I don't know.
Okay. Never mind. Let's just start with profiling. Let's just profile this page.
What I do know is we have some notes here that they are customer section load is called twice on page loads, and that's, I think we know about that one. That's most of the hits that we're seeing. Amasty review modules doing some things that we need to look at.
Yeah, definitely we'll take a look. So first of all, let's take a look at the homepage. So the homepage is quite heavy. I can tell you for sure, like 1.8 seconds is too much for a homepage. So let's take a look right away at the timeline. Let's see what we have here. Oh, Christopher from Blackfire just appears on our show. Yeah, we know that guy. Okay, so here is something happening here. Just a moment. Oh, wait. It was weird. Templates pixel. Pixel of what? This is weird one. Why someone instantiates an order model on a homepage? This is completely redundant. So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't tell us, unfortunately, which block it's coming from. But there is definitely some kind of pixel.phtml, and I think in this pixel.phtml there is some shenanigans happening with loading an order and outputting the data. So we see here something happening. So this is definitely something that we shouldn't expect on the homepage happening at all.
What is it? A pixel? Oh, Bronto tracking pixel.
This is another thing. So this is an HTTP request, and this is happening actually later on a page. And here's another template, script manager.
So PHP generated the, wait, PHP pinged out instead of just doing an AJAX call out after page load? To that Bronto thing?
So the Bronto is definitely puts quite a lot of load here, and this is actually weird. Why would they just not include it directly on the page through the JavaScript tag, you know? Like,
oh, wow, that's crazy, dude.
I think it makes much more sense, you know, like instead of inlining this JavaScript.
Oh, yeah, that is whack.
Raw data, okay. So basically just...
Oh, wow.
Just piece of JavaScript that they can include directly on the page. Like...
yeah, instead of blocking, that's blocking CPU cycles on our end, waiting for that. I mean, even if it's quick, you're still blocking on it, and especially if it doesn't load or there's a slowness over there, it's tying up cores. Let's
take a look at this one. Maybe we have a Magento module on GitHub. Okay, they have GitHub page. Okay. So this is unfortunately is not there. but it could be.
It's in the marketplace. It looks like I don't see a.
Yeah, but this is definitely shouldn't be here at all. Like
No,
this is a bad practice for building your own integration, especially even without like storing somewhere locally. Like if you rely on some JavaScript from outside and you want to really include it into the page, you better create some kind of functionality to store it locally, and let's say update it through a cron job or something like that, instead of like doing it in such a way. Also, Magento allows you to store files on local file system. You can store them into media directory, and then you can just include this JavaScript from media directory. But I don't see any reason not to include the script directly into the page, especially considering that it's already hosted at Bronto CDN, and yeah, it can be definitely directly being loaded.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like if there's any slowdown over there on their CDN, your page load is going to hang while it waits for it. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, so here we have another thing as well. So yeah, this one is definitely a problem. Let's see what else do we have here. Here we have a footer. Footer has some queries to load the CMS blocks, and I don't know why it's so slow. Query. Oh no, query is not slow. It's or actually it's slow. 23 milliseconds. This is crazy. So looks a little bit weird. Definitely makes sense to take a look at that query more in detail. Maybe they have a lot of CMS blocks or something like that. Let's see. And I love this new feature in Blackfire. Like you can really expand.
The call stack, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see what's happening. So yeah, so there is some CMS block, and this is something that happens in Magento core. So weird. Maybe they have too many CMS blocks. Do you know how many stories do they have?
Not offhand. No, I can.
Would be very valuable just to check, their database to see, what is the data in these two tables, because could be possible that they have a ton of CMS blocks, and those ton of CMS block gets joined to the ton of block to store assignments, and then it's all gets sorted, table sorted on MySQL side, because this one looks like a simple query, but there's a lot of redundant data, in my opinion. I didn't see it before because usually people don't have much blocks, so no one noticed it probably before in Magento core. So this is interesting. Okay, here we have, so the biggest problem on the homepage is this pixel block. Then we have here other parts as well. So we have some authorization.phtml, where it comes from. I don't see it where it comes from. Looks weird. Maybe it's just customer logged in or logged out. Yeah, it's customer account.
Yeah, we're seeing 2 pings to the customer.
Yeah, and
section load on every page.
Language switcher as well visible here. So whenever it's shown here by Blackfire, it means that it takes too much time actually to render, and it makes sense to take a look at these parts, especially considering that this web block takes 125 milliseconds. But this one looks like these 3 items are standard Magento issues. As the ones that we were talking before, remember I was talking on one of the shows about minicart being still rendered, however you use ESI include, and like and a bunch of other stuff. Or for instance, like minicart gets rendered and the code gets instantiated, loaded from a database, even though the page is completely cacheable by Varnish. And in this case, Magento probably does it here. So this is a performance issue definitely, and this is something that I'm working on as a part of this customer section load removal extension. Okay, so what do we have here? Here is some kind of JS components. Is it a standard Magento thing? Yes, it's something standard from Magento. Yeah, doesn't take too much time, so let's move on. Let's take a look at this big block here. Do we have anything special here? Nothing stand out too much. Okay, there is some kind of an observer on load layout before. Do you know if they use Varnish?
Yes.
And it's set up on this environment as well.
Let me check. So there's one store view and there's 26 entries in CMS block.
Yeah, so then it's weird why a query takes so long. So this is a little bit weird, you know. Okay, so basically some of the issues are common, and some of them are related to this special pixel block. I still don't know which extension this is coming from, this pixel block, but it adds at least 100 milliseconds on every page probably. I speculate right now about every page, but this is probably what we'll find out in other ones. Another one interesting here.
So what's that? Yeah, what's the Amasty?
Page speed optimizer. What an irony. So yeah, this is good old minifier issues.
It's minifying on every.
Java.
It's writing. So that's going to write into the shared media directory.
It doesn't matter. Like, there is no need to minify at all.
Well, we've seen cores being used heavily more than what they should be sometimes, and I speculated that they were writing to a shared directory over NFS, because when they scale out multiple pods, the media is shared over NFS. So if they're doing a minifier that's writing into the NFS directory on thousands of requests, like that's.
Here it tells it minifies directly to the output, but I don't think that they minify it in a page source. Probably they do it on the files that are included. And by the way, Magento already allows you to generate minified files on static content deploy. You don't need to do it at all on the fly during the page render time. So whatever is done over there by this Amasty module is completely redundant.
Varnish is not enabled on the dev copy, but it is on production.
I definitely would revisit this website with Varnish enabled.
We can enable it right now.
But also then your guys need to enable a VCL snippet
yeah,
as
they
well.
have it ready if you want to do it.
Yeah, would be great, because I think it makes sense to really profile a production-like instance, right?
Okay. Yeah, I just pinged them. They're going to switch it over for us. Yeah, so I bet that Amasty was writing to the NFS, and when they had a lot of requests, that's what was backing it up. That would explain a lot, actually.
I wasn't sure, like, if we would profile the live system, we would see bigger IO weights then. Because here right now we don't have, auto-scaling enabled.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably don't see, all those issues with JavaScript. But as I understand, like, all the stuff that is done by Amasty modules, they just move JavaScript into the bottom of the page. And do they also load deferred styles? Okay, this is interesting. There's plenty of JavaScript being pushed to the end of the page, and it does make sense to move it to the end of the page or mark it as deferred, but it doesn't make sense to minify it on the fly during rendering the page. It just doesn't make sense. Also, they are using some kind of jQuery lazy image loader. This is semi-optimal because there is much better and much more lightweight libraries that don't require you to load the whole jQuery library as well.
So there's 7 gigs directory full of that stuff. They said, I asked them to check the JS write times because we found an Amasty page minifying JS, and I said we speculated it was writing the shared FNFS, and the team's like, yeah, we found 7 gig directory full of that crap.
Okay, Jordan, don't forget to beep it.
No, I think crap's okay. I didn't say the S word. I said crap. I think crap's okay.
We can tell it crap,
Crap. But that would explain it, like, because it's really heavy when it creates a new pod, because it has to copy all that crab meat out into the other, it's like gigs of it. And they were wondering what it all is. So it would almost be like a new JavaScript file is being generated each time for every request, and they're just piling up.
Probably it is, and it's just terrible. So don't do this kind of JavaScript optimizations. It doesn't make any sense. And it can actually slow down your process a lot and result in very large bills to pay for CPU resources and limit your scaling abilities, right?
I mean, for us, it's session-based pricing, so they're going to pay the same amount no matter what. But we spend a lot of time with customers really optimizing their stores. So at least this way we're getting paid for it because we save in resources. So it costs us less to support their session usage, which they get billed on. So, but it also doesn't necessarily incentivize customers to optimize their store performance. But they still do, because they want faster time to first byte. So it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, especially if they flush cache often. It's gonna be
dude, we had one the other day, a quote senior Magento developer wrote into us, and he's really upset. He's certain something's wrong with Mojo Stratus. He's like, it's just running terribly, and it's got to be your systems. And so our team digs in, and we found in one of his includes, I think it was the header file, a cache flush call. So every page load, they left in this cache flush, and it was flushing their cache every freaking page load. Like, oh my God.
That's cool. That's cool find by your team, like, they really went that extra 100 miles,
Yeah, they look at it and they're like, well, this
to find a problem, because this is definitely hard to spot, if you don't really dig into the code. And
I think we're gonna put in a I think we're gonna send the Redis logs to a log file, and then we're gonna set up a script to check it. So we do check for health. We do health checks on the customers' stores, and we'll send out alerts to let them know if we find anything unhealthy. And I think we're going to add one where we write the Redis calls to a log directory, log file, like we do all the other logs, and then we'll monitor that. And if we detect like a high amount of cache flushes, we'll send an alert.
Yeah,
that happens more often than you think. Like, you wouldn't think that that happens very often, but it actually does.
Yeah, this is crazy. So did they enable Varnish already or not?
Let me check. I think they had to reload it. Hold on.
It's so nice when your store has product pictures that actually add to the store design, in colors. Yeah. That's quite cool.
Do you grow any vegetables, or do you have any flowers?
Yeah, we have a small backyard where we grow some flowers. We actually have 2 palms growing in our backyard, so this is a little bit of fun in Dutch weather. But in general, we don't grow any vegetables because we don't have that much space to grow them.
Did you see Talesh's daily nature photo the other day?
Yeah.
With the 5 leaves on it. He swears it was some sort of maple tree. I think we're all pretty suspicious.
Yeah, that's why I was joking about Canadian maple leaf, Okay.
They're saying it's reinitializing as auto. Oh, okay. So they do have auto scaling on this test instance. Normally they wouldn't in development, but they do on this. So.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's okay. There's still one pod initializing, which it just, again, that their pods can be slow to initialize because there's so many gigs in the media that, not in the media, not in the shared stuff. That mounts instantly, the NFS, but the code directory, they got a lot of junk in the trunk all over, really. But I think it's fine. It should be, Varnish should be enabled now. You might get a 502 if you hit one of those other pods, but
it's interesting actually to see, what kind of things taking so much space, because I don't see much of complex functionality here. Right, so I see search bar where you can search for a seed, and I see just list of products on the homepage. So that's quite weird that they have this big of a code base. Unless they have machine learning. Wow, this is nice. So this is this is actually Varnish cached page. Or wait a moment, we actually profiled full page cache enabled page before.
Before we did. This should be Varnish now.
Yeah, so in the Varnish we see the real generation time of the page behind. So that's why it's very important to always profile with Varnish enabled. So then you see how much time it takes to generate the actual cached page, because over there we just was hitting standard Magento. This one reminds me of a homepage with some issues in it, right? So now those small blocks, they don't matter as much as this big block called homepage custom. So this homepage custom.phtml does some pretty heavy stuff, right? So I can tell you for sure they probably load a product in a loop, right? So every single product that is shown on this homepage is loaded in a loop. Separately, one by one.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't see any additional information over here, like on a product thumbnail. There is no any additional information except something that is already available in Magento. So why not just to use a collection with product IDs in a list?
And
so,
why wouldn't Varnish just cache that whole section? Why is it even going to the?
Yeah. So the thing is, with Varnish, as soon as you update some of the product, let's say some of these products get sold, the cache for all pages where this product is shown is gonna be flashed. And in this case, like we have a homepage.
As soon as you sell one,
and I think they currently show bestsellers on their homepage, right?
I don't know. Scroll down. I don't think these are bestsellers.
Yeah, but they definitely want to showcase some of the products that they want to sell the most, right?
I mean, it seems like they could just make that a static page and.
Yeah, but they probably just specify, products through page builder maybe or through something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But there is this custom PHTML, so probably.
Is there 26 products on there? Maybe that's the 26 CMS blocks. I wouldn't be surprised to see that if that was 26 CMS blocks that they could edit.
No, it just product repository get. I don't see anything telling us that it's a CMS block. It just get homepage page details, Simplyphp homepage block homepage get homepage details. So inside of this method from Simplyphp, I don't know what Simplyphp is. Then you have this product repository call. So there is nothing else in the call stack. It means that there is no block, no CMS block, nothing. It's just directly part of the code. So this one takes a lot of time. And
so what would you do to optimize it?
Use product collection.
Switch to a collection.
Yeah, collection and whatever they are using in order to, iterate through products. Just collect IDs for this iteration, and then use those IDs as a filter for a collection, and then you get already everything you need in order to render the page. Like you don't need anything else. So
do you see the JavaScript thing here? The Amasty PHP optimizer?
Not in this case. So in this case, this one actually kills the page more than JavaScript, but JavaScript is probably as well add something. Like as soon as they fix this issue, the JavaScript thing is gonna hit hard as well.
Yeah, harder, that's my concern. Going to the database is not good for sure, but writing over NFS like on thousands of concurrent clients is just recipe for disaster.
And as I see, they actually don't have any category pages, right?
I don't know. Go up. You didn't see any at the top.
I don't see anything.
Oh, you just.
Oh,
wait. Shop. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, this is weird. but probably it's just... Oh, it's probably because we didn't have Varnish enabled. Right? So ESI include didn't work or something like that.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's go into vegetable seeds, into the category. Let's see how our category going on. It's quite slow. So let's profile it. So many products out of stock already.
They've been selling a lot, doing real well. Some customers are up and some are down. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know what's gonna happen, because probably we'll have in this state of semi-quarantine for a long time still. So I can imagine the United States right now hit quite hard by this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like we don't have a grocery supply problem. We have a grocery demand problem. Like people went to the stores and panic bought, but you go to the store and the shelves are a little bit empty and you get a little bit worried. So you buy a little bit more. So does everybody else. And then you go back and they're a little bit more empty and so you buy a little bit more and it just compounds into a problem. So I'm sure a lot of people want to grow vegetables at home right now.
In the Netherlands, actually, in supermarkets, they did quite interesting thing. Like the most products that are sold out a lot, they just put only a couple of them on the shelf, and during the day they just restock it.
Just restock, yeah. But we're really weird here. Like we got this whole freedom thing going on where like we're super sensitive. Like, oh my gosh, if you withhold products to the shelves, you're taking my freedom. You're like, it's just the worst thing ever to us. And it's crazy. Like, relax. Like you gotta, it's about, us, not me. Like,
okay. So we have here some issues as well. We have this SEO reach data from Amasty that does quite heavy stuff here, as you see. There's plenty of generate offers. So the same thing as we talked a couple of shows, actually I think 5 shows ago, when we were talking about similar thing from another team. Let me remember the guys who also did some rich snippets. What was the name of the company?
I can't remember the exact name either, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the same thing. And again, like it doesn't make sense to output the products you show with all the information. You have to just create links to the actual product pages, because Google doesn't gather the information that you generate here on the category page. It takes the information that is on the actual product page in order to create a rich snippet on the search results. So this one definitely, just by replacing it with something that does it properly. I don't know if there is anything out there that does it properly, but just doing something like that, you can save like 5 seconds, of your page time with plenty of database queries. And another thing, there is also something in the product list. So review summary, Hawk search. What is a Hawk search?
Hawk search.
Hawk search. Sounds typical American,
It'd be eagle search. Eagle talon claw guns. Freedom search. It's out of control.
Okay, so There's plenty of stuff going on here. I just can't. So there is review summary that takes quite a lot of time. I don't see exactly the cause of it, but there's definitely some IO operation happening. So let's just open a database query. Oh my goodness. So
does that say 690?
yes. Queries to the URL rewrite table. 224 queries to price rule table. You know, like, and this one catalog category product. This is definitely as well. So this is I think it's related to this SEO reach functionality. So as soon as like they can try to disable it, try to profile a page and see how it affects it. Another thing.
What is it? Hold on, the SEO reach?
SEO reach, the one from Amasty. SEO reach snippets.
Oh, SEO rich snippets. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just used to Ukrainian pronunciation because we don't pronounce it as letter by letter abbreviation. We just generate it as a word.
Ah, okay.
So that's why I'm telling SEO. So sorry for that.
Okay, yeah, we would say SEO, I think here. SEO, not SEO. We'd say SEO.
Yeah, okay. That's great.
That makes sense. It's easier.
Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely something going on here as well. 73 queries to ratings. I think this one has been fixed sometime in Magento. Like you're having a separate call for every product, but then they replace it with something more simple. But here I see like 73 times the ratings of the product getting retrieved. It doesn't make sense. Like you can already access a summary. So
what was the Hawk search thing?
Yeah, I don't have any idea what is going on there. So vote aggregated. Yeah, there is a lot of queries per each product, multiple times. So not once, because they don't have much products on the page, but or quite a lot of products. Yeah, they have like 96 products on the page, and for each of these 96 products there is tons of database queries. So we have 2,800 database queries on the page in total.
Wow.
I can tell for sure, like, there is plenty of work for developer to eliminate all those calls and just reduce it to the minimal number of database queries, because I don't see anything complex on this page, in order to produce this number of queries.
So the best thing to do would be try to disable Amasty SEO rich snippets on the category page.
Yeah, see how much it helps with queries, and if it doesn't help much, also look for other places where it happens, because they have also pretty much a lot of stuff related to their functionality as well. So they have this Hawk search that does some stuff. I don't know what it does. So could be just wraps something around and it just appears in the call stack but doesn't do anything else. And of course the standard thing with Magento with final price. So Magento does a database query per each product in order to access the tier prices and catalog price rule prices, instead of it doing instead of grabbing this data from the price index where this data already should be available. But unfortunately Magento decided, hey, we're gonna remove this data from price index and we're just gonna do tons of database queries. So what I usually do, rewrite an indexer to include the data that is needed for category pages and then just output this data here.
Do you know why they made that decision?
I think like with a lot of things that introduce performance issues. Probably there was some kind of a bug fix or something where developer, let's say, had to fix a zero price issue or something like that, like the price is not showing up for a product. And let's say instead of finding the root of the cause and fixing the indexer code, they decide, hey, let's just bypass indexer here and just return the data because we need to fix this issue as fast as possible. Like we don't have time to investigate properly and find the right solution. And I think a lot of it also coming from community engineering, because people are eager to close as much as possible tickets as well to receive some how do I call it? To receive some rewards.
It was
in
a
community.
KPI too. In community. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so a lot of pull requests are getting just merged without proper checks because there's probably a lot of pull requests open. And it's much more easier to merge a pull request that fixes a bug because you can verify that bug is fixed, No one thinks about possible consequences of performance impact of those fixes. So no one really pays attention, I think, in the review process. And that's why we have this monstrosity of number database queries. So yeah, let's take a look at the product page. So far I see they have simple products, and for shop with only simple products, like it doesn't make sense to have this number of database queries. Like in standard Magento core, like this number of database queries would happen if you have this number of configurable products on the category page. But here they just have simple products itself. So there is nothing that should cause this problem. So let's profile this page as well. So this is our product page. Let's see if we can see something different here. Uh, 172 database queries on a simple product page. This is not looking good. So right away, timeline doesn't tell us much here, because, like, yeah, we know there's this page speed optimizer that takes a lot of time. What interesting to see how much queries we have. So this is something that Magento has as a bug. For every single product that is shown on a page, Magento does this call to the database, and this is probably related to the number of blocks with a product on a page in total. And apart from that, there is not much database queries. So also probably here as well, some URL rewrite stuff, but I don't see what it actually related to. So also MSI, good old friend MSI as well. There's plenty of stuff here related to the MSI. Oh yeah. So MSI as well, this super link and bundle selection to check which product has a child product or something like that. That's a little bit weird, of course, because I don't think that they have any configurable products on this product page. It's just simple product, so there's a lot of redundant queries happening.
So they just check if they can disable MSI, or if they can, then install the patches.
Install the patches, or maybe I will release someday a module that reduces number of database queries on MSI to a very minimum amount. but I don't have time to make it yet.
The user dash is growing.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Okay. So
you want to add to cart?
Definitely. Let's enable this profile or request button. Record. Add to cart. Two items? Oh, some free item.
No, you got some free crap. What is it? Mystery variety. That's neat.
Okay, good. So let's see. Oh, I can edit this item. This is weird. So does it mean it has some options?
That's got to be a link to the...
Yeah, but this is already weird because... Oh, wait a moment. Oh, this one is a problem, I think, with performance as well. Like all those...
Oh, you can go...
Previous next product, this can be...
Is that what you looked at, or that's the catalog? So you can just flip through the catalog that way.
Now look. So here is the original page I'm in, right?
It's your history though, right? It's what you looked at.
I don't think so. So I was on this new items 2012 with the category in the URL, and then I can click and I can go to the next product. Any product list. And from what can I tell for sure that implementing this functionality in most of the cases by majority of developers is going to be a very slow process. Because you need to load the whole collection of products on category and find the one that is in position before and after. So this is kind of complex. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the next one and the next one. And I think this is quite...
That's kind of cool, though. I mean, you would be flipping through like a catalog, like a seed catalog. I used to grow all kinds of vegetables and stuff. And I love to get these catalogs and flip through them. So it's kind of a similar experience. You're just flipping through easily.
But here, for instance, you can see like the configure link. When I click on it, it actually breaks this functionality because it doesn't know anymore on which page I am. And another thing that I would do if I was a developer of this feature, I would not rely on a backend. I would rely on a front end. So let's say I'm on a category page, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked on a category page, and here I'm just gonna remember products that are on this category page in local storage in JavaScript. Then let's say I click on some product, and then I look up in my local storage the data for previous and the next product. And
you know what position you're on, and you can just find the previous and next. You just reset it whenever you go to a new category.
Yeah, so you just don't need to do anything related to the backend functionality, because if you involve backend in this, it means you reduce a lot your cache hit ratio. It means like every category plus product combination needs to have own version of the cache. So if your product is in multiple categories, it means like every single page with different positions of this product needs to be unique. And this is actually also a problem for Google, because you will have a lot of duplicated content as well. And technically, it's possible to do through frontend. You don't need to do it on the backend side at all. And you still can provide this nice user experience without slowing down. So for instance, if someone, let's say, go into a Spring... Oh, this is a CMS page here. So if I go, let's say, into Anis category, okay, there is a single product, right? There's probably a lot of checks happening in order to see if something happening. So let's say just herb seeds. Oh, it's just category. So they don't have products here. They just do category. Actually, this is a good idea to run a profile here, because I'm more than 100% sure that this SEO snippets output a lot of data that shouldn't be there. How much would you like to bet on this possibility?
No, I wouldn't take that bet at all.
Okay, so let's see. So right now you see there is just subcategories with some images, right? There is nothing special, no products, nothing. I like this picture.
Yeah. All their pictures are really good.
Yeah. Very nice.
Like you said, they really add to the design of the site.
Yeah, you know, like when your product enhances the look of your site, that's great. Okay, so you see it's 20 seconds and it's 812 queries. So let's see. Let's see, do we see average snippets here or not? Oof. Where are the products? Okay. So here is another issue. You saw those categories, right? Mm-hmm. So how much category loads we have here? Ton of them. I think like 100 of them. Even more. Like get category thumbnail URL. And then there is a bunch of database operations happening. And then get tracking data. Oh, wait a second. Something that I didn't.
Mageplaza rich snippets, multiple rich snippets. We've seen that before.
Mageplaza Layered Navigation, search criteria builder, and here we have something that takes again a version from Magento package. You remember we were talking about it before? Something that hits file system quite hard and CPU as well.
Which Mageplaza extension? Oh, Layered Nav.
I don't know if they really need it. They can just install Elasticsearch. Free advertisement for Smile Elasticsearch. But it's also a free extension, so win-win for everyone. And here we have get identities. This one takes quite a lot of time. You see.
Okay, so that's Hawk Search.
I think this is a standard Magento. We see Hawk Search because it creates a proxy around this list.
Oh.
And inside of it, Magento doesn't take into account that actually there is no products rendered. So you see it tries to get all the identifiers from the product. And then it does a lot of stuff in order to put the product ID on a page. So if you have a category page that has only categories, right? There is no products. Magento still will go into every single product of all the subcategories here access their IDs, access all the possible child product IDs, all the categories it's assigned to, and add it as a tag marker on a page in the header, so Varnish can flush a page. So even if you don't have those products visible on the page, if any of those products get sold, this category page cache gonna be flashed. And again, it's gonna take another 12 seconds to generate this page from cache. So basically, as soon as they sell something, the cache gets flashed a lot. So there is a lot of stuff that needs to be optimized. Like I would remove from these get identities any product related rendering, because they don't have any products rendered on the page. Like if it's a category page without products being shown, don't output identities of those products on the product page. It's genuinely a Magento problem. So I'd advise you, if you would take this bet for SEO rich snippets, because apparently Amasty learned something from our shows, and they don't output JSON markup for page where there is nothing.
We should include that in our intro, that we also do this show to encourage extension vendors to do better performing development, optimize their code.
Yeah. Well, look, here is some stuff going on. How search manage.
Wait. Stream socket? Hold on. Stream socket client SSL manage Hawks. Whoa. Is that?
So it's even not shown here in HTTP request.
No, it's a socket. Go back to it. It's socket. What's the socket? Is it?
Yeah. So why here is a socket? So there is an HTTP client that creates a socket connection on 443 port in order to fetch encrypted data. By using TLS or SSL.
So what the hell is that? I mean, heck is that doing?
Looks like this is some kind of banner. And maybe this is this one. Or
no, I mean it's calling out from the PHP, so it must be a third-party search that it's. But why? I thought most third-party searches would do Ajax and not like call out from the PHP source.
But looks like they just have some kind of like, I'm not sure that Hawk search is actually a search, because I don't see a third-party system, here. Like there's no pop-up pops. Oh, there's something, but a little bit slow. So let's look for some sunflower seeds, right?
Did that call out to Hawk search?
Oh, actually, you know what I was supposed to do? Run profiling. Okay, what can we search for? Oh no, I just tried to click on something. What's happening? Apple seeds. Indigo, apple, tomato. Like this is product match.
Yeah, like watermelon.
Apple.
See what watermelons they have. Apples
Okay.
are more trees. Yeah. There you go, watermelon. Although weird that the top 3 product matches were not watermelon. That seemed like a bad search, right? Like watermelon didn't even return watermelon category in the top 3. Or it gave you a category, but the top 3 products weren't even watermelons.
Isn't it?
This is. But if you go back, if you type watermelon back into thing, the top 3 products are like watercress, water something. Like weren't even watermelons, although it did show a watermelon category. Strange.
Yeah, it's quite strange. Okay, let's take a look at Blackfire. It didn't show any requests. Okay, so will I just profile it like that? No, not like that. Sorry. It's gonna take quite a lot of time. Let's... Oh. Did it refresh itself? Or what? I just don't understand.
It's got a mind of its own at this point.
Yeah, let's just profile a page directly.
Oh, wait, you are you authorized to view this profile?
Oh, wait. It sent me to rareseeds.com.
Oh.
Okay, now it's clear. So we click here and we copy this URL and we just replace it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if it helps. Okay, we are on the right instance now, and let's run a profiler. I wasn't sure that this is probably the standard Magento search, because maybe the pop-up or something is doing something with the server body, but I doubt there's anything related to the actual this page, because this looks a standard Magento page, nothing extraordinary here. Okay, so 2 HTTP requests, one of them is quite slow. Okay, and now finally the Hawk search is actually shown, and it takes like 100 milliseconds to connect to it. So not a fast.
That I hate seeing that so much, because there's so much that can go wrong in that. It's
yeah. So this is definitely some default standard Magento, and we see some kind of weird stuff going on here, like Amasty gift cards and other stuff, like summary short. Yeah, so mostly you see here on catalog search page, get reviews URL, get URL. This method get URL actually triggers loading all of the reviews. That's quite weird. Like, it just should be a product page with hash reviews or something like that. It shouldn't load generates. Oh, so here it is. Here we are.
Wait,
look.
What is it? This is the Amasty SEO single
URL. So another performance bottleneck. So here you see when there is no current category, it just has a lot of issues with rendering a page. And probably in standard category page there's also some issues with this module, because I saw the review was getting some issues. But here you see like product around get request path. And yeah, here is a problem from Amasty. So they load the product URL for every single product that is rendered, and probably multiple times, because I'm more than sure that they don't cache result per product either. So probably as soon as you call get request path for specific product, it's just gonna do it again and again and again. So this one adds a lot of time and a lot of database queries on the page. So if we take a look at the query summary, yeah, you see URL rewrites 240 database queries. So this is what's added by Amasty. Then 40 queries to review entity summary. That is also, I think, redundant. Then this super link. These queries bother me a lot. This is probably coming from the Magento core. Rating aggregated. Could be that review entity summary and rating aggregated is also coming from Magento. However, I don't see it in most of the product, but not a lot of my customers are showing reviews on category pages. So could be related to actually showing the ratings that customer give to a product on a category page. However, there is much more better ways for Magento core developers to display this data instead of, like doing a query per single product. It just doesn't make sense what's going on there. AV entity attributes, this is quite common that I see every single day. Magento loads every single attribute that is added to the product collection. It loads it through separate database queries. This is quite easy fix, just preload all the attributes that are going to be used in advance with a single database query. Catalog product rule price, definitely a problem from Magento core, because they don't use data in price index, the one that I was talking about.
Yep.
That they just do a query for every single product. So basically from all of these database queries, it's possible to render a category page with maximum of 60 queries in total. But in combination with the Magento core issues, in combination with Amasty modules, and probably other code over there as well, and also the HTTP requests to Hawk search, there is an issue in that area. So definitely there is a lot of stuff that customer needs to work on, because all through they don't pay per server resources, but pay by amount of visitors. But if they fix those issues, they can sell much more.
Yeah, they want lower time to first byte for sure. Everybody does.
Yeah, so they can definitely sell more and faster, and maybe bring more visitors.
Yeah. Ultimately, I mean, we can scale it out horizontally, but you get to the point where they gotta work together on the optimizations to keep the time to first byte low. So,
yeah, like
it's a certain point.
You cannot scale it really well horizontally, unfortunately, because like if you have 600 database queries per each page, like your MySQL will just say goodbye, because
it's hanging in there, but it's like, it's really, really like, what are you doing to me? Like, this is painful. Help.
Yeah, like, and also external HTTP calls. It's also slowing down things a lot.
That worries me the most, because if there's any delay in between that, the core is held. So now every request is coming in, and instead of completing, it's holding a core while it's waiting on that. And that really irritates me. A waste of cores, man.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things to take a look at it from the customer perspective. We heard about issues with customer section load from this customer, right? From New Relic reports. But apart from those ones, there's also huge.
Did we do the add to cart? I think we started it, but did we look at it?
Oh, yeah.
If we looked at the profile.
I don't think. Oh, okay. Is it this one? Oh, it's from previous show. Okay. So here, let's take a look at the custom and it's the add to cart. Let's see, where is it? Review product list Ajax. This one is terrible as well. This is a standard Magento thing. Like they load list of reviews through the Ajax instead of rendering them on a page. It doesn't make any sense. So here is adding to cart 210 database queries. Let's see which queries are there. Let's sort by number of calls. So inventory, MSI, definitely. I don't see anything else here except MSI queries that are happening on majority of stores I was working with. So MSI does a lot of redundant database queries. And
did you notice the composer autoload not optimized issue that we always see?
Let's take a look. There is, definitely. It just was not visible behind other issues. So, but definitely, if you see file exists, there's definitely a problem over there. So, but I think this one is not as big of an issue as, you know, number of database queries, because
yeah, just killing MySQL. It's hanging in there though.
But as you told, like he already have horizontal auto scaling turned on, and there's plenty of there's plenty of issues over there, right? With a lot of resources being used. So
yeah, using a lot of cores. I mean, they're doing a lot of requests per minute, but
and as you see, for instance, like here we added product only once to the cart, but number of times we have this customer section load being invoked across all over the request is enormous.
That's by far the biggest URL and the highest count of hits. That's a common Magento issue, though, right? You haven't put out your fix for that out of the stash yet.
So here is another thing interesting in Amasty module, just from number of requests. Like this one doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't vote, right? Amasty advanced review Ajax vote. I didn't vote. Why have a request, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
Ajax command update. Why do I have a request for that one? Like I didn't update any comments. And well, why not just include this data in the product itself, in the product page? You know, like if you have some data to be added to the page, and this page is usually don't have that much of cache hit ratio, because product pages, honestly, they need to be fast, and they usually not stay in cache for a long time. So it doesn't make sense to move out reviews and other stuff through Ajax. You can just bundle them on a page and being rendered directly. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. That's it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was like almost an hour and a half, so it was a good place to call it. I got quite a few things in the show notes here.
Yeah. Again, Amasty didn't surprise us.
Yeah. They always pop up. They must be making a lot of money, because it's like every store we find has an Amasty extension in it. Like, have we profiled one that didn't have something from Amasty?
I think it's going to be a hard find, you know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Thank you to Blackfire for sponsoring us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Christoph, we saw you in the beginning of the show, so thank you very much for sponsoring our show. And yeah, we'll continue to use Blackfire and help merchants with our nice sponsor help. So
yeah, we'll link our contact information in the show notes. Hit us up on Twitter, Load in the Loop, or us personally, and you can email litl@magemojo.com if you'd like to be on the show. We did have a request. We've had a couple. One recently for someone who's not hosted at Magemojo, and I told him, like, that's not a hard requirement to be hosted here, but our customers do get priority, and we have a queue of customers. So we can talk about that after the show, Yvonne, and see. But we could probably put them on. So if anybody's out there and interested, get at us, let us know.
Yeah, it's definitely possible as soon as they have Blackfire Probe installed on their server. Just give them the keys that we use for the show, and then we can profile stuff. So it's not rocket science. The only thing that they need to have the right software being installed. And apparently Magemojo has this stuff pre-installed, and plenty of customers who need to be taken a look at. Yeah,
wow. I think we have an endless list. It's just getting permission. Some of them are a little bit worried. They have to watch the show. I think once they watch the show, they realize, okay, it's cool. Like, you're not making fun of us. You're not showing our code. Like, you're not exposing any proprietary things. So. And then they're really happy. Like, once they go on the show, they just love it. They're super excited. They fix a lot, and it's really great. So
yeah, it's also a little bit also hard to find an issue, because sometimes you see that something is definitely not right, but you cannot see what is actually wrong just by looking at the profiler. So sometimes when you have complete set of code and everything, it's much more better. But yeah, it's not the format for 1.5 hour show, right? So it's a format for a week. A daily show, let's say, the show that takes a day to complete.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks everyone. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. I think isn't that the right way to say it? Like, follow, hit that like button, subscribe, follow.
We should have told about hit the like button in the beginning of the show,
There's still amateurs, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, yeah, definitely.